Good evening, everybody. We're joined by German guitarist and songwriter Axel Rudi Pell, who joins us to promote the brand new Risen Symbol album. Flying the
Yes.
melodic hard rock flag for decades now, he's checking in from Bochum, Germany to tell us all about his 22nd studio album. So, Axel, welcome to Metal Mayhem ROC.
Hey, how are you? I hope you're fine.
Well, I'm doing okay. I'm located in New Jersey, not far from New York City.
I
And
know.
you're in Bochum, Germany, correct?
It's in Bochum, yeah.
Bochum. What is Bochum known for? There's got to be something it's known for.
No. No. We have a famous soccer club, but that's everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So nothing. But it's a big city, Bochum, correct?
It's around close to 400,000 people there.
Okay. Okay.
That's okay. It's
All
not
right.
that big, but it's big, yeah.
Right, exactly. So, Axel, I am just so impressed because this is now well, let's go back to the Steeler days. So you put 4 Steeler studio albums out and
Yeah,
now 22 solo albums, and that doesn't include live albums and everything else. But your
right.
solo career only started in 1989, so it's almost like you pretty much put a studio album out every 2 years. So maybe
That's right.
before we get going, just talk about your career longevity, because it's a testament to you, the commitment to your craft and consistency.
That's right, absolutely. I grew up when I heard Deep Purple playing on TV way back in 1971. I saw Richie Blackmore play guitar, and I said, I want to do it too. Someday I will have my own band. And then it happened that we got the first record contract with Steeler. I was there for 4 years. We recorded 4 albums, and I left. And I started my solo career in 1989 with the first album, Wild Obsession. And if somebody would have asked me at that time, you think you 35 years later, you're still doing it and you have success? I say, are you kidding me? No. But it's running good. The fire inside myself is still burning. The flame is there. I love to do it.
Yeah, that's amazing, because that is a lot of albums, and it's a credit to you. And one thing about your current, let's say your current lineup, it's kind of cool for me being a New Jersey New Yorker, is you have 2 not just Americans but guys from my neck of the woods, as they say, New York City guys. So you have, of course, your vocalist, Johnny Gioeli, and Bobby Rondinelli, your drummer. So talk a little bit about
Yeah.
them being with you guys.
Johnny, he's with us since 1998, so 26 years already. He's living at the East Coast. I think he moved in. He's somewhere living in Connecticut. Yes, but I think he was born. You're frozen. You can still see me and hear me.
Yeah, I can see you. It's no problem.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
okay, no problem. He was born and raised in Brooklyn, as far as I know, in New York City. And
Okay.
the drummer Bobby Rondinelli joined us 11 years ago. He's living on Long Island. So I think he was born and raised in New York, but I'm not sure which part of New York. Sorry, but anyway, yeah, I love them. They're great musicians, and they're very nice guys, easy to work with, and we're on the same musical length. And everything's great.
Yeah, Bobby Rondinelli, I of course he's a New Yorker, but he's played with so many big bands, Rainbow, of course,
Oh yeah,
Black Sabbath in the Tony Martin years,
yeah,
Blue Oyster Cult. So he's
right.
got a pretty big name by where I live. But
Yeah.
now your bass player, Volker, though, he goes back to the original Steeler days, correct?
That's right. Yes. I know Volker since 1978, believe it or not. We played together in some kind of school band in the cellar somewhere. I know him that long time. Yeah. And he's still
Wow. So
complaining about everything.
he's still complaining about everything, but I guess that
Yeah,
means you're
you say,
friends
oh, I need
first.
more money. I need more money. I say, you overpaid. You're a bass player. You're not a lead singer. "No, I need more money." I
Well,
always making jokes.
you guys are like brothers, right? Because you stay together for 30 something years. You stay together, you're like brothers.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
So, Axel, the Risen Symbol album, it's your new album, or to be released soon new album. I love it. I think there's some great material on here. I want to cover off on a lot of the songs. But first, talk about the album art, because I think there's some similarities, as you mentioned in the press notes, to the 1996 album Black Moon Pyramid. So just talk a little bit about
Right.
the cover art.
Yeah, you know, the Black Moon Pyramid has only the top of the pyramid, some crazy birds flying around the top of the pyramid. And excuse me, to quit smoking. Too much talking anyway. What did I say? I said, oh yeah, I remember. And when I wrote the songs, actually, they all have this kind of oriental kind of feeling to it, you know. I said maybe it's a good idea to make a huge pyramid on the cover artwork, to get a little bit a relation to the Black Moon Pyramid album, but only to the title track, which also has a kind of oriental feeling to it. So, and I did it, you know, and actually I love the artwork, you know. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it is good. It lends itself to the themes of the songs.
Right.
I mean,
When
going
you,
down.
yeah, when you listen, when you see the artwork, you get into the right mood to listen to all the tracks in a row. You know, you get the special feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's song. It starts off with a short instrumental, "Resurrection." It goes into "Forever Strong," and that
Yeah.
one, it's fast and heavy. It's just a good classic album opener. I love the message behind the song, and I keep going through the lyrics. I love the lyric, "Get rid of your demons. Demons may dance, but they won't last for long." And it's
That's right.
got some great drumming. So talk
Yeah.
about the opening track.
You know, I think that was one of the last tracks actually I wrote for the record, you know. I was inspired by so many things, but I talked to Bobby, my drummer, and I said, Bobby, what do you think about the double bass number? I say, yeah, it's great idea. We never did it, you know. And so I think it's one of the fastest track we ever did since Bobby is in the band, you know. But he loved it. And after we recorded it, everybody loved it. They all liked it, you know. So what can I say? Yeah, it's
It's
got
a,
the
it's a good track to lead, and there's so much contrast on the album because then you go into Guardian Angel, which was
right,
your first single and your
right.
video, and that
Yeah,
one, it's like I say, it's like it's an FM friendly song. It's something you could hear on the radio if radio still existed because it's very
yes,
catchy and melodic. But
right.
what stands out to me is it's this. I call it a soaring guitar solo, very soaring and atmospheric. I love that solo. So what about
Thank
that
you.
track to
Thank
you?
you so much. Yeah, you know, I have this fingers. Yeah, you know, yeah, I wanted to create something special, you know. And sometimes solos are a little distorted. Sometimes I hit the wrong string on the guitar and it makes weird noises, you know, whatever. And my engineer said, "We leave it that way. It's great. It's great. The people will love it." And that's what I did in that solo too, you know. I love it. Yeah.
That's a good it's a good track.
Yeah.
The other single that just came out recently, Darkest Hour, that one also is kind of cool, but it's like I say, it's a heavier track, yet it's
Yeah.
rich with melody. And that's a song where I feel like I really hear the gifted talent of Johnny. He really shines on that song.
Oh, I think he shines on every song on the record. Yeah, he's great. You know, I love Johnny. Johnny has got a perfect voice for this kind of music, you know. And I'm very proud that he's still with us, you know, after 26 years. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you I mean, how did you land two Americans in the band?
Oh, that's a good question. I forced him with big money. You know what happened actually when Jeff Scott Soto, the former singer, when he couldn't handle ARP any longer because his other commitments, I looked for a new one, and I knew the Johnny from the first Hardline record, which came out in 1992. You know, the vocals are a little low in the mix, but I could hear that he got a great voice. You know, and I tried to get in contact with him. It took me, I think, nearly 6 months, and then I got his email address, and I wrote him. I said, Axel, I just quit music business. I cut my hair. I said, are you kidding? With that voice, why, you know, yeah, no, I don't want it. It took me several weeks. Every day I wrote another email, and he finally agreed. I said, okay, I'll do it. And he came over, and it was perfect. You know, he went straight into the studio, and he sang the first line. I said, I got goosebumps all over, you know. I said, great, fantastic.
Because it's got to be a little bit difficult or challenging logistically, right? Being a European band, and I think
Yeah,
you do most of your touring in Germany and Europe. You do the summer festivals.
right.
You don't really come to the States, but now your two American colleagues, they have to spend their time on the road mainly over in Europe. That's just how it
Yeah.
goes, though, I guess.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, I forced them with big money. No, but you know, we one big happy family. You know, we love each other. You know, the chemistry is there between all band members. And after we only see each other when we're rehearsing for the tour, and actually when we're recording in the studio. And when we meet each other again after a couple of weeks or couple of months, everybody laughs and tells stories, what happened, whatever, telling jokes, we were hugging each other. And it's great. It's perfect. It's very different from maybe a local band where all 5 band members are living in the same city. You see each other 3 or 4 times a week, rehearsal, whatever. And that's not cool.
Yeah, the little separation is good. You look forward to seeing
That's
each
right.
other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like a nice family there. So, going back to the album, the Immigrant Song, the Led Zeppelin classic, of course. What is interesting about this is I feel like the opening riff, it's got a funky sound. I love it. It's like wah 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 wah, wah, and then it
Yeah.
just has a steady rhythm, dum da ba
Right.
bum ba ba bum ba ba bump. So I
Yeah.
think it's a very fresh take on the song. So what made you decide to put a cover song on your album?
This song followed me since 1972 when it was released by Led Zeppelin. I always loved the track. And at
Yeah.
some time I said, sometime I have to do a cover version of it. But in the past, I never had the right ideas to make it bigger, keep getting it more into a ARP style, have a different intro, which has nothing to do with the rest of the song, adding a guitar solo, which the original lacks a guitar solo, less no guitar solo in there. So, and now was the right time with all this oriental kind of atmosphere around the artwork, the other tracks. I think now is the right time. And I got some ideas and I played it. Or we played it. Everybody loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, it's refreshing. I
Yeah.
like it, and I think it's a good complementary track to what I think is the best track on the album, which is Ankhaia.
Oh,
And
thank you. Thank you so much.
Axel, that is like one of your best pieces of work I think you've ever done. It's just an amazing epic track. It clocks in at over 10 minutes, but
Right.
I can't even describe it. It's just you have like this, it's got a Led Zeppelin, yet I feel like it's all could be Rainbow Stargazer feel to it.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
and just the interplay, and then just when you think it's chugging along, you feel like these little like Arabic or
Yes.
Oriental type ding, these little like symbols
Right.
coming in.
Yes.
Um,
Right.
so
Yeah.
so talk about the building of this creation of this material.
I had this riff before, the first riff, and I said this had to be a huge long track. You can't. This is a magnum opus. You can't play that song in
Yeah.
3.5 or 4 minutes. It's not working. And you can't sing about California Beach Girls in there because it's an
Oh,
epic track. So,
yeah.
so when we did it, actually the song was done and went into the studio, and I said, and there was no middle part. That's an orchestral kind of middle part, Egyptian sounding, oriental sounding in the middle.
Mhm.
There wasn't anything. I talked to Bobby. Bobby was playing, and we listened back to Bobby's track, and I said to Bobby, "What do you think about the idea to have another special part in the middle? With just an orchestra?" Yeah, I don't know exactly what you mean, but let's try it. And we tried it. I got the inspiration from Jimmy Page and Robert Plant did a movie. I think it's out on DVD or Blu-ray called Unleaded. They did it in 1995 or 1996
Mm-hmm.
where they all played their classic Led Zeppelin tracks with different kind of musicians around the world. And they did this. They did a version of Kashmir with an Egyptian orchestra, and they have this interfere in the middle too. They stopped and they played some riffs in between, and the Egyptian orchestra is playing. I say, yes, that's it. And Bobby played the percussion on that. And so it kept going and going, and then till it was done. I'm very proud of that track. I love it.
And I like the symbolism you mentioned.
Yeah.
The fictitious city Ankhaia comes from the Egyptian symbol Ankh, Ankh, which stands for continuation of the afterlife. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, baby. You got it.
No, in truth, do you actually believe in the afterlife?
Sometimes, I think the human beings are too stupid to understand. I think there's life after death, but not things we can imagine now because we're too stupid. You know what I mean? There's no soul flying around looking at us from heaven or whatever. But in some way, there's a way to communicate. I'm pretty sure about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good
Yeah.
perspective. Good perspective. I
But
got the end.
but
Go
Ankhaia
ahead.
is the lyric is about a fictional city. Actually, when you're in the desert and you're running out of water and you're crawling through the sand, the sun is burning, it's hot, you want to get some drinks, and you can't have it. But suddenly you see a huge pyramid, and a city which lives, with everything there, with
Mm-hmm.
food and stuff. And you crawling fast and fast, and suddenly you find out it's not there. It was a Fata Morgana. There's nothing, and that's Ankhaia, and then you have to leave Ankhaia again. That's about the little context. But whatever, who cares?
Wow. Well, it ties it back to the pyramid symbolism in the artwork, of course.
Right, yeah.
Now, will your fans get to hear that one live? Because I think that one should be played in your live show.
Yeah, but that's too long. That's a problem. We can't get rid of the Masquerade Ball and Casper. We always have these two songs in a medley. And Ankhaia it's over 10 minutes long. I think when we're doing it completely live, it would be 12 to 13 or 14 minutes. I'm sure about that because I never can stop playing solos, live.
Yeah.
So we have to I think half of the song we're doing probably in the medley in the Masquerade Ball and Casper, maybe at the end or beginning. I'm not sure about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that too.
Yeah.
But well, when you do go out on your headlining tour,
Yeah.
or maybe you need to do like an evening with the band where you play one song from every one of the 22 albums.
No, you're joking. No. No. Never ever. No. I mean, it's not that bad, the idea, but actually what I don't like when people starting to actually play the second or third record incomplete, for what reason?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess maybe some of those other bands that have smaller catalogs than yours, they have that one or two signature albums, and that's what they have
Right.
to their bread
Right.
and butter, as we say in English, right? It gets them some ticket sales and people into the
Yeah.
arena to watch them, right?
That's right. Absolutely. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Axel, I noticed in your notes you call attention to your love, of course, for Richie Blackmore, Jimi Hendrix, but what I found unique was you mentioned Ronnie James Dio, but you also mentioned Tony Martin from Black Sabbath. I'm a
Right.
huge Tony Martin Black Sabbath era fan. We've had Tony on
Yeah.
our show, and I hear a song like "Crying in Pain," and it's reminiscent of almost like the keyboard introduction on Die Young. I hear
Oh, I
that,
see.
but so that's my
Okay.
interpretation of it, and it's a slower track.
Yeah.
But why did you decide to make mention of Tony Martin on your? Is he a favorite of yours, a friend of yours?
No, I never met this guy. I think Bobby used to work with him, when he was in Black Sabbath.
Yes.
Cross purposes of. But the people ask me, the guy who wrote the biography, he said, "What are your favorite kind of bands, whatever?" I say, "Yeah, Black Sabbath, of course, with Ronnie Dio and Tony Martin there, because
Yeah.
this is often overlooked, but it was a great era, Headless Cross is great too. It's great album.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it. Yeah.
And they have a new box set coming out next week for
Oh,
celebrating
really?
those. Yeah, the four or five albums that were released under Tony Martin.
Oh, I
They're
didn't
coming
know
out
that.
finally. Yeah,
Oh,
officially being re-released under with I think through BMG or whomever. So yeah,
cool.
both Tonys have been doing some press. So it's
Cool.
nice to see those
Yeah,
albums get the credit they deserve. But
right.
that particular song, "Crying in Pain," that one's like your slower track, but I like how like the vocal and the piano are in focus there. So it's a
Yeah,
good contrast to the album.
right.
And of course, then there's a couple of other tracks, "Hell's on Fire," "Right on Track." And as you close the album, "Taken by Storm." And I love this one because it has the traditional metal march that you're synonymous for in this style of
Yeah.
music, but it's also very intense and emotional. And I just love the great vocal in the bridge and the chorus. And I just think it's a very, very strong track to close out the album.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I can agree 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. That's excellent. So now the album comes out on June the 14th and touring. So what does touring look like? I see you're playing lots and lots of festivals over in Europe, including Wacken, which I think you played
Yeah.
what, 4, 5, 6 times?
No, I
So
think it's
what's
the
touring?
seventh or eighth time this year. I think last
Okay.
last time we played that was 2016. I remember that. Before that, 2012 to 14. I can't remember. I'm sorry. Actually, the first time we played Wacken was 1999. So, but we only played on the main stage. We never played at the small stage. We're always playing on the main
Okay.
stage. And I loved it. The feeling when you're standing there on stage, 80,000 people or more, I don't know. You can see that the earth is going round, there are always people, only people. And the good thing is they don't run away when they play.
I see that. Well, it must be a testament to your dedication, again, back to the beginning of your commitment to the music, because if you're invited back 6, 7 times, that
Sorry?
means they want you there and your fans love you. And it's a German festival, so you're a German artist, right? That counts too.
That's right. Yeah, of course. Yes.
Absolutely. And I see
Looking
you're
very
doing
much
some.
forward to
Yeah, I see you're doing a show with Deep Purple also in July.
Oh,
So you
really?
get to, yeah, you're playing. Let's see here. I can't make out. I was looking at the advertisement. I can't see the name of the festival, but it's in the middle of July, July 12th, 13th, and 14th. It's you guys, except Saxon, Hammerfall, Mr. Big,
Oh,
Stradivarius, Deep
ah,
Purple.
I see.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a festival we're playing in Bulgaria, but the Purple are playing on the next day when we're playing Mr.
yeah,
Big, the headliner. We're co-headlining, but but we played in the past. We played so many shows with the Purple. I know the guys very well, apart from the new guitar player, which I never met, but all the other guys are great. I love them.
yeah. They came to the States and they did only 2 or 3 shows last year, and one of them was by me. They were coming off of one of the cruises, so I was able to see them. And I think Simon McBride, the new guitar player, he's
Yeah.
really, really good.
Yeah, I saw
So
some videos on YouTube. I like it too. He's playing great. Yeah.
yeah, so and they're coming out with a new album, so that's good. So hopefully you get a chance to talk
Yeah.
guitars with Simon. So
Yeah.
being an American, Axel, I have to ask you: do you ever do any touring in the U.S. or when was the
No,
last time you played in the States?
and unfortunately, we never played in the States, but
Oh
that's
wow.
one reason. There's one reason, you know that I have two Americans in the band. I always ask them every year, Bobby, Johnny, what you think about doing a US tour? And both say, Axel, don't do it, you will lose money. The market for this kind
Mm,
of music is barely over. If you're lucky, you can get 100 or 120 people a show, and then definitely not enough, then I would lose money, and that's a good plan. That's the only reason. I love, I've been several times to New York. I worked there. I did mastering with George Marino and Sterling Sound, whatever. I
yeah.
love it. And I flew to Jersey, to Newark, not
Uh-huh.
to JFK. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame, but I can understand that. Of course, in this day and age, you have to make sure it's economically works for you.
Yeah.
But maybe there'll be some point in time where you could get on a package bill or do a run off one of these cruises. It's funny. I was just seeing today, Adrian Vandenberg booked a short U.S. tour in the States, and same thing. He's playing these very, very small rooms, but he's asked to advertise his tour as playing the Whitesnake hits. So it's not even
Okay.
so much his solo material, but it'll probably get people in the door. You
Right. Can
know.
be. Yes. But I've never been in Whitesnake, so I can't do a Whitesnake show.
Well, there you go. That's right. Well, you could. You
I
could.
never got
We'll
a
see.
call from David Coverdale. No.
Well, you need to tell Bobby and Johnny to get you over there. Well, maybe someday we'll come over there. But
Probably. I hope so.
Axel, the album is great. I see the tour dates to come. A few other comments I want to say on your back history. So
Yeah.
I found it interesting on the website that you're selling your own cologne called the Nights Fragrances. What's that all about?
That's what I'm doing in my spare time. When I'm not writing, I'm not playing the guitar, when I'm not riding with the car, I'm not doing Texas, whatever in between. Because I always look for the right fragrance to fit myself. I got several. I'm a collector of fragrance. I have over 110 at the moment. They're all open,
Hmm.
and I have a different one for every day. Sometimes I'm wearing two different a day. But anyway, I tried to create my own one, and when I got the first one ready, there's so many different ingredients in there that I said, oh, I can build a second one. This is different from the first. So I have four right now. So in the fan box, in the limited edition box of Risen Symbol, that's a brand new one called Pyramid Haze. It's a small one. It's inside there. And we're selling it on the road too. I love to do it.
So it's an extra passion outside of playing guitar, but it also feeds your creativity because it's a different. It's like almost like being in a lab in a science lab, right?
That's right. Absolutely. I mean, creating a perfume is like writing a song. You have to put little bits and pieces together, and then you got the final thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, or you could also say after those long hours of festival, a lot of your fans they may smell, so you may need to get them, drinking a lot of beer. They need to have a little spritz so that
That's
they smell
right.
better.
And when we play Wacken, there's so many people there. I go to the microphone and say, "Now smell the pill, buy the fucking fragrance."
That's funny.
Yeah.
Um, Hey, Axel, we have a segment of our show that we like to end each interview with where we call it our heavy metal history. We try to come up with something to get the artist to think back in time. So, two things
Okay.
come to mind when I look at your back history.
Yeah.
The first one was your fame in Russia, and it seems like in
Yeah.
2019 you played the Moscow Kremlin award shows. There's some fun pictures of you in front of the Kremlin.
Yeah.
Kremlin. So,
Yeah.
talk about your presence in Russia.
That was the first time we ever played in Russia. It was way before the war, actually. So it was, yeah, like you said, I think in March 2019, we were invited by a Russian promoter. You have to be at the Kremlin. We're the only hard rock band at that day. There were like Michael Bolton was there, the Irish singer Krista Burke, and what else?
Mm.
Leona Lewis, some really famous mega stars. We're the only hard rock band. We had to, of course, it was a lip sync thing. Only one track in the Kremlin Palace. It was
Oh,
packed. All the people dressed very nice with ties and stuff. And we were rocking it. But we played a ballad. It was great. I think it was aired, and there were more than 65 million people watching that. Wow. Yeah, 65 million. Oh, complete Asia and whatever, Russia and I don't know where else. But this was really fun. Actually, it was really tough to get into the Kremlin because all the security things. I think we run 3 times through an X-ray scanner, and you have to get
mm,
passes, and you don't move there, don't move there, follow this guy, do that, do that. But when the thing was over, it was very funny because when we went outside the building, outside the Kremlin, there was only one control. There was only one guy standing there, looked into the bus, everything's okay, let me see your passes, okay, bye-bye. If what could happen when we could get the president of Russia, make him drunk, pulling a hoodie on and put it in the bus, nobody would notice it. But we never did. Of course, he wasn't there,
yeah,
actually. Of course. Yeah,
right.
but it was a great experience, actually. And what really was strange was when we played the show, it was after the Kremlin thing. The next day we played our own show. I asked the Russian promoter, it was a girl, I said, how many people what do you think, how many will show up? 200, 300? She said, no, it's sold out. It's 2,500. I said, what the fuck, I
Wow.
didn't expect that. And we talked to the fans afterward. They touched me and said, you're a legend. Can I touch you? I said, I'm a guitar player. I'm not a legend. Yeah, but you're a living legend. Please, please. I said, okay. There was one guy, a couple, they traveled. They came from somewhere East Russia, Novosibirsk, or whatever the city was called. He traveled 1 week by train to only see us play live. And 1 week back, he took his whole, how do you call it?
Oh,
Vacation. Yeah, yeah.
wow. Like he
That's
almost
crazy.
traveled through all these different time zones through Russia.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. Incredible.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was a great experience. I loved it. Yeah.
Wow. That's fascinating. Great stories. Appreciate you sharing.
Yeah.
And then there was the your 25th anniversary concert that you did at the Bang Your Head Festival.
Yes.
And I love this because I want to check it out myself because there's a Steeler reunion and you had your past singers, Rob Rock and Jeff Scott Soto, your current band.
Yeah.
And then you had guests like Graham Bonnet and Doogie White and Vinnie Appice and Tony Carey, and you did a bunch of Rainbow and Deep Purple songs.
Right.
Just talk a little bit about that because that sounds like what a fun day to just get everything out of your system with your career and all your favorite songs.
Oh, that was really crazy that day. I remember that very clearly. I mean, it's 10 years ago, but it's there in my head since it was 2 weeks ago or whatever. When I was the only guy, the show runs for 3 hours and 20 minutes. And I was the only guy playing all the time, apart from the drum battle in the middle. This was a 10-minute break at time to take a pee. I was
Yeah.
on stage all the time. I played every fucking song, and I had big sheets on the floor on the ground. Say which note was it? Fuck, A. Was it in A? Is it the C? Or I don't know. Can't remember. Look at it. Oh yeah, there we go. It was crazy, but the people had so much fun. Actually, they're all my friends. All the guys who showed up. They're really nice guys, very professional, and we had so much fun. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's over. John Lawton is dead already. Sorry for that, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, but we love all that music too. So, well, it just
Yes.
tells
Yeah.
you that you can do a lengthy show, but it can only be one time only because it would be too much to do that all the time, right?
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
So,
next day,
Axel,
the next
yeah,
day
go
we
ahead.
played a show with Deep Purple. I remember that. And I talked to Roger Glover, the bass player of Deep Purple, and I say, hey, what are you doing? Where are you coming from? I said, we just did an anniversary show. I said, and we played Black Knight. He said, oh, yeah, I would join you if I would be there. But he wasn't. He was doing another show, Anyway, who cares?
Well, maybe in July, maybe you can stay the extra day and jump over on the Sunday and play.
No, I think we have to move because I think the next day we're on the way to another thing. I can't.
Yeah, I see. I see. Well, it's all good stuff. We love both of your bands, so that's the best thing.
Yeah.
But Axel, give us your socials. Where can the fans and listeners find all about your band and the new album?
It's Axel Rudi Pell DE, or at social media, Facebook. It's Axel Rudi Pell official site. When you're looking for it, you will find it very easily. There are all tour dates and all links for getting the stream, solo record, or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, great. So just a reminder, get up to our website, metalmayhemroc.com, and join our community. Sign up for our newsletter. It's the best way to stay up to date on interviews such as this and get all the new information on all the new music out there, and check out all of our interviews out there on our YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to check us out on our live Monday night radio show on Metal Devastation Radio. So if you like what you're doing, subscribe to us and the podcast and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. So, Axel, I had a great conversation with you today. You're a funny guy. You've been doing this a long time, and it's too bad I couldn't be over in Germany to see you, but I really thank you for your time.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Definitely. And I wish you the best on the new album. We'll be making sure to play the stuff on our Monday night radio show. And all the best on your summer tour, and the best of luck for the album.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.
So for my guest, Axel Rudi Pell, I'm Metal Walt, and this is Metal Mayhem ROC.
Metal for life.
Thank you for listening to Metal Mayhem ROC. Check out our website at metalmayhemroc.com for information on podcasts, archives, links to all our live radio shows, and all sorts of info. Please like, follow, and share with everyone, even your non-metal friends. And always remember to keep it heavy.